I have an Ikea jerker desk, and I lost one of the caps for the end caps for it, and you can't buy them anymore because I don't think they made that desk for like 10, 15 years. It's an amazing desk. But so I went on Thingiverse, well, somewhere, and found a cap that somebody had done, which it's pretty cool, right? And so this goes over the end of a metal pipe, and it looks pretty good. And I don't know why there's green on the inside, but one thing I wanted to be able, it turned out that this thing, this gap, this box in the middle fits down inside a pipe, and then this thing covers the end, right? And it was just too narrow. Like it fits, but it's like slides around, it doesn't stick. And so I don't have any tools. All I had was an STL file, and I needed to make this box just be a little wider. And it turns out on a Windows machine that Microsoft actually has this thing called 3D Builder. And so I was able to import the STL into 3D Builder. And then what I needed to do is just use 3D Builder to try and figure out a way to make this box bigger. And, you know what? I'm going to turn off the grid. No grid. Okay. Right. And so what we can see here, what I'm thinking of doing, right, is I'm going to create a cube. So I'm going to edit the object. Nope. And I'm going to insert a cube in it, right? And what I'm thinking is all I did was I made a cube 1 millimeter wider than this thing, or like a 1.5. And then when I added a cube to this, it turned out it filled in this hole in the middle, which I didn't want to do. So then I took another cube and I put it inside and you know what? Let me see if I can do this. I can do a cube, right? So I have this cube. Right? And if I want it to be hollow in the middle, what I do is I create another cube and I shrink the size of this cube down. Let's just make it 30 by 30 by 30. Okay, so I made this little cube, right? And you can see it's like, so now if I look at it, let me push it in a little bit here. Yeah. Anyway, so, oh no, it's this one I want. Yeah, so now I've pushed it in, right? So now it's a cube with a cube sticking out of it. And if I want that to be a hole, what do? I go to edit and I select what I want and I say subtract. And now you can see I've got a cube with an indent in it. And so if I were to 3D print that, there would be a cube with an indent. All right, so let me delete that and show you that's kind of what I ended up doing, right? So what I did was I actually created, let's take the main thing off. I ended up creating a cube a little bigger than my main fixture. And then I put a subtract in the middle of it. And so that just gave me a little thicker walls. And let me just show you. So here you can see what it looks like, right? Here's the gray box. And then there's a little bit of green line around the outside. And then when I drove the inner cube in, I had to decide what depth to drive it into. You can see, so I created a little lip inside. But since it's inside the post, it doesn't matter. So that's really all there is to this thing. And then all I did was save this as an STL. And now I had one of these caps that was, and let me, just like 2 millimeters. I can click on this one. And we can say, how big is this thing? And it's 67 by 27 by 20. And I think the old one was like 65 by 24 or something. So I needed just a little more width and a little more height. And I did all of this in Microsoft 3D Builder. And basically what it came down to was building this little coffin looking thing, or like a box with a box notched out of it, and laying that down in the right place on the drawing I already had. Make an STL, boom, baby. And this thing was just big enough. Now it's a super cool fit. And that's what I got. So you can do Microsoft 3D Builder for basic stuff.